But let's dive straight into this big Samajwadi versus Namazwadi debate in Bihar on the Waqf Act. Joining me on this special broadcast, Rohan Gupta represents the BJP, Vivek Silas represents the Samajwadi Party. I have Sanjay Gupta, who's co-director of Lokniti CSDS. He's a psephologist. He's been studying these elections and virtually every week the changes that are taking place. Sanjay Jha is a very senior, well-respected journalist, understands Bihar well, as does Sanjay Jha, formerly of the Congress, joins us as a political analyst. But Vivek Silas, let me begin by asking you, sir. I want to take you back to a statement that was made by Lalu Yadav, and this was in 2010, where he had raised concerns about land encroachment. He linked it to Waqf properties. He had called for stricter laws. He said in Parliament, and I want to quote Lalu Yadav, this is in 2010. He said, and I quote, "Look, there should be very strict laws. Land has been grabbed, whether it's government land or private land or land belonging to those who work there. Everything has been sold off. Prime land has been sold off, not just agricultural land. All this, including property near Patna's Dark Bungalow. Everyone has looted." He is asking for strong laws. If a strong Waqf Act has been brought, what has changed between 2010 and 2025 in the past 15 years, sir?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to say, Gauravji, that I was listening to Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi very, very carefully. And the word that he used, Katmulla, I thought he's a learned man, but using such type of words in his interview or his statement is not justified. I think he should think about it. Because I don't think that anyone takes Sudhanshu Trivedi very seriously. I think even the people of the country are not taking the Honorable Prime Minister also very seriously after the ceasefire, you know. It's not only about Bihar, you know, people from Jharkhand, from Chhattisgarh, from Odisha, from West Bengal, they all were there in Gandhi Maidan in Patna yesterday. And Bihar has been a land of, you know, revolution. In 1977, if we see the JP revolution started from Jagat Narayan Road and went up to Gandhi Maidan, and it changed the whole scenario of the country, you know. We are opposing the law, the law that has been brought by the parliament recently. We can also say that even today the Bharatiya Janata Party is opposing the Places of Worship Act in 1991. They are still opposing it today.
2 points, very pertinent. You haven't responded to my question. I'll come back to you. Rohan Gupta, you want to quickly respond to Samajwadi Party saying the kind of language used by Sudhanshu Trivedi, using words like Katmulla, that just goes on to indicate how desperate the BJP is.
See, desperation of Samajwadi Party and RJD was visible from the same stage where we see that Sharia will be imposed and constitution will be out. See, Gaurav, we have to see one thing very careful in Indian politics. Whenever elections come, whenever these parties' political existence comes under danger, appeasement politics comes out. For them, constitution has become tool to protect their appeasement politics. They have been using constitution, the copy of constitution, just to ensure their appeasement politics. And today, when the law is passed in our parliament, how can they say that they put in dustbin? There is a process. They have right to go against that. There are cases in High Court, in Supreme Court. Why they are going against Constitution? Because for them, Constitution is a mere tool to protect their appeasement politics. Can you allow Sharia kind of, you see the speech of that gentleman where he says that Sharia will be imposed. Can you allow this from the same stage? Is this India? Is what these political parties are up to? Their political gains are not beyond our country. Their political gains are not beyond our constitution. Their political gains are not beyond the sanctity of the constitution. What they are doing?
You are accusing the RJD, Samajwadi Party and Congress of Muslim appeasement politics. I'll come to Sanjay Jha to respond to that, and to Vivek Silas to respond to that. But, you know, the point about Lalu Yadav being against the land being usurped by various organizations, to suddenly RJD saying we'll throw the Waqf Act out. Listen into Lalu Yadav. Vivek Silas, I'll just come back to you, and then I'll bring in Sanjay Jha into this conversation. But first, this is 2010. The month is July, 7th of July, if I remember correctly, 2010. And this was in Parliament. Listen in.
सारी जमीनें हड़प ली गई है, चाहे सरकारी हो या गैर उसमें जो काम करने वाले लोग हैं, सब बेच दिया है। प्राइम लैंड ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई खेती वाली जमीन है। पटना के डाक बंगला पर जितनी प्रॉपर्टी थी ये सब पर अपार्टमेंट बन गया, सब लोगों ने लूट लाट किया है। आगे से खैर आप तो लाइए, इसको पास हम लोग कर देते हैं संशोधन आपका।
So 7th of May 2010, Waqf property, land being usurped by mafia, and Lalu Yadav in parliament is saying we need strict laws. And suddenly his son 15 years later, Sanjay Jha, is talking about throwing the Waqf Act in the dustbin. Is there merit in the BJP saying this is nothing but Muslim appeasement politics and trying to bring Sharia in Bihar? Sanjay Jha.
Gaurav, let me tell you, the BJP lies, lies, and lies. That's the only thing they know. By the way, there is no contradiction at all between what Mr. Yadav said in Parliament and what the opposition said. Everybody wants a more robust law, but they don't want a law that is going to disenfranchise the Muslim community. But let me tell you, this is a larger issue. You see, we need to understand that. When the Prime Minister of this country makes speeches talking about mutton, Mangal Sutra, aapka bhais kaun chori kar lega, he basically does dog whistle politics, which the rest of the BJP then takes it into a crescendo. Let me give you an example. Yesterday or the day before, the RSS talks about removing the word secularism from the preamble to the constitution, on which the Supreme Court has given a verdict. So you get to know the intent of the Bharatiya Janata Party. You know, they keep talking minority appeasement. I'll tell you, Gaurav, why that is total rubbish. If there are 100 people who are going to vote in an election, there are 14 Muslims, there are 80 Hindus, and there are 6 from the other minorities. Which political party will concentrate all its efforts to win 14 votes at the cost of losing 80? So this is all utter nonsense, and we should dismiss it right away. I want to make 2 points to you which are very critical in this debate. If Rohan Gupta's BJP believed that Asauddin Owaisi was such a great brand ambassador for India after Operation Sindoor that he had to go and tell the world how India was united and, you know, Pakistan is the enemy, why don't you believe Asauddin Owaisi and take his views very seriously on what he calls the Waqf board? He in fact tore it in parliament, saying that it will take away Muslim rights. So let us expose the hypocrisy of the BJP. And my last point, Gaurav, go back to what a BJP member of parliament, Nishikant Dubey, said. He called the Chief Justice of India of the Supreme Court, Sanjeev Khanna. He said, this man is going to start a civil war. He blamed the Supreme Court for starting a religious war. I think the BJP is completely at the moment going bananas. They fear a rout in Bihar. They will do everything from using the election commission down to polarizing politics to try and see if they can dent the votes. But I can tell you,
before I bring in Ajit Jha on some very pertinent points you've raised, Sanjay Jha, Rohan Gupta, since a direct point has been made about the BJP, Rohan Gupta, you want to quickly respond that the BJP's efforts is to disenfranchise the Muslims through the Waqf Act?
See, first of all, Sanjay could not answer the question asked by you. He completely changed the topic and he never answered that why Sharia speech has been there from the Gandhi Maidan where the constitution speech was happening. Why you are talking about, breaking the laws? Why you are telling that Waqf Sanshothan will be put in Kuda? You could not answer that. Number two, Sanjay might not have been in Congress, but his mindset is still the Congressy. So this is the same mindset through which now Shashi Tharoor has become enemy of Congress party. There is a difference between internal politics and external statement where we have to be together as a country. You cannot mix two things. There can be difference of opinion in-house, and there can be, but when you are going outside the country, this is not the Congress party who will play the petty politics and don't send the people like Shashi Tharoor. That's why Mr. Asauddin Owaisi, when he was invited by Mr. Amit Shah, he took that opportunity and represented country out. So please don't mix two things. This is the Congress mindset which still you are having. You have to answer that appeasement politics is not beyond our constitution. You have to answer that question why constitution is put in corner and why Sharia rhetoric has been mentioned in this rally.
Let me bring in Sanjay Kumar and Ajit Jha on whether an effort will be made to woo only 14%, ignoring the remaining 86%. Ajit Jha, Muslims form about 25% of the electorate in 40 Bihar assembly constituencies. How would you assess the potential of this Waqf Act controversy, and will it shift Muslim votes or Muslim voting patterns, especially in some of these constituencies? Is the RJD or the RJD-led alliance trying to ensure, since both our friends spoke of AIMIM and Asaduddin Owaisi, is that a fear that RJD wants to retain the Muslim vote bank and doesn't want to lose anything to AIMIM, irrespective of what happened last time?
Gaurav, excellent question that you asked. But before I answer that, let me make just one point, because I've seen the debate going all across the floor and not sort of hinging on the main issue. What is the main issue here? If Tejashwi Yadav becomes the next chief minister of Bihar, let's assume for a moment, does he have the right constitutionally to throw the Waqf Act passed by Parliament in the dustbin? Impossible. So he's actually committing, according to me, a self-goal or, a hit wicket. He's being silly and naive. He doesn't realize that a state government cannot throw a law which is passed by Parliament, both houses, and at the same time under consideration by the courts. So he, at the moment he said that, he obviously was not thinking constitutionally, number one. Number two,
But thinking well politically. Is he thinking well politically?
Not at all. He's being naive, as I said. It's a total self-goal, according to me. But let me answer the question that you originally asked. You see, Bihar's Muslims are divided. There's a lot of excellent work on Bihar Muslims. Bihar Muslims are basically divided between Ashrafs and Ajlafs, the upper caste Muslims and the lower caste Muslims. Initially, a large section of the Muslims of Bihar, both Ashraf and Ajlaf, used to vote Congress, later the RJD. But once Nitish Kumar came, he made a pointed departure. He started policies for the poorest of the poor Muslims, the Pasmandas. So as a result, a large section of the Pasmanda Muslims moved towards the JDU. Now you have Prashant Kishore also sort of, raising issues of the poor Muslims. So Tejashwi Yadav is under pressure. He realizes that once the Muslim vote banks, let's say in this case 14% we are assuming, splits, he'll be in trouble. So therefore, he has taken a more radical position than he should have had. Because after all, it's correct. The RJD doesn't only rely on Muslim votes. It also relies on Dalit votes. A large section of the Dalit votes were with the RJD in the past. And at the same time, the Yadav votes or the other OBCs. In fact, I heard Tejashwi Yadav in Bihar, where he was talking, when someone asked him, will he protect people? He said, Agadi ko pehle, Pishwadi ko baad mein. Meaning, he'll protect the forward caste first, and then later the backward caste, the Muslims and others. There he was talking of inclusive politics. On Sunday, at this Gandhi Maidan speech, he kind of slid backwards. He made a
So let me get Sanjay Kumar to do a little number crunching. Yeah, it's because Sanjay Kumar has been doing a lot of number crunching on this. Sir, what's your assessment of how this Waqf Act is likely to impact the NDA's electoral prospects? Because JDU did try to bring in some of the Pasmanda votes, but 6%, 10%, 12%, how much are they likely to get vis-a-vis, the RJD or the India bloc? In your appreciation, Sanjay Kumar.
See, Gaurav, there is no doubt, and there is a historical data based on the surveys which we have been doing, that a very large number of Muslims vote for RJD and its alliance. That has happened in the last many elections, last 3 decades. In the coming elections also, I have no doubt that a very large number of Muslims are going to vote for the India Gathbandhan alliance. I think, yes, it is true that Muslims and Yadavs are the core support base of RJD and its alliance. And there is some inhibition, some hesitation, some confusion that if they start losing the Muslim vote, it is going to pose a serious challenge for the RJD and its alliance in the coming assembly elections. So the whole idea is to take a very aggressive stand. And this is an aggressive stand. We all know that technically, legally, it won't be possible. But you need to create a rhetoric. And in present day election, I think rhetoric does work. So he's just creating a rhetoric, he's creating an atmosphere that he is the one who is there to protect the interest of the Muslim. So my own sense is, yes, Nitish Kumar did try to, mobilize the Muslim vote, but hardly I think the JDU has got between 8 to 10% of the Muslim vote. Whatever they may do, if they remain in alliance with BJP, which they are likely to in 2025, they will not succeed in getting a sizable number of Muslim vote. The Muslim
And
vote
what about
will
Prashant Kishore? What about Prashant Kishore? Is he likely to take away a chunk? And is that also one of the worries as far as Tejashwi Yadav or the India bloc is concerned?
It depends what kind of a chunk are we talking about. If we are thinking of a big chunk, no, I don't think that he's going to take up a big chunk of the Muslim vote. When I say big, I don't think that he will be able to attract even 10-12% Muslim vote. Yes, but still, there is some doubt in the mind of Tejashwi Yadav that even if it loses 10-12% Muslim vote, that's going to be the loss for RJD alliance. And that is what he's trying to minimize, trying to prevent, that the Muslim vote should remain consolidated. If RJD alliance start losing the Muslim vote, then the contest for 2025 for the India alliance will become very, very weak.
Okay. Vivek Silas, that's the point that the BJP is also attempting to make. The government repeatedly insists that this Waqf Act actually aims to enhance transparency, aims to bring in inclusivity in Waqf property management. The point that the government repeatedly raises is, how is this anti-Muslim, and is there merit in the BJP actually accusing the opposition India bloc of fear-mongering? Musalmano ko darao aur unka vote le lo.
I think the Bharatiya Janata Party looks quite nervous before the, Bihar elections, because if I ask Rohan Gupta today, who is going to be the Chief Minister of Bihar, is it going to be Nitish Kumar? He will not be able to answer it. Now Nitish Kumar or, Chirag Paswan or this Upendra Kushwaha and Jitamran Manji have to think very seriously how they are going to do about it. They don't have a plan. The Bharatiya Janata Party, is trying to be aggressive, but at the same time they are realizing that the people of Bihar are not with them at all. It was Tejashwi Yadav who didn't only talk about the minorities, he talked about Pichhda, Ati Pichhda, Dalit, Mahadalit, everyone. It's not about the Muslims. It's about the entire Bihar. And the entire Bihar looks that at the moment that they are shifting towards the India bloc. And we were talking about the, Prashant Kishore. Prashant Kishore is a Sakal Devi Brahman. And people, what they predict, and the Pandits, what they are saying, that most of the upper caste vote that belong to the Bharatiya Janata Party is being shifted to Prashant Kishore. That is the problem of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And please don't talk about, appeasement politics, because in 2024, we had already seen the Honorable Prime Minister talking about Mangal Sutra, mutton, machli, zyada bachcha paida karne wale, mujra karne wale, Eid, Diwali, Shamshan, Kabristan, 80-20, these are all the tactics of appeasement by the Bharatiya Janata Party which the people of the country rejected in 2024. It was in Varanasi, where hardly the Honorable Prime Minister could win the election by 152,000 votes, although it was expected, and the Bharatiya Janata Party was saying that this time the victory is going to be 10 lakh votes. Okay. It was at the last moment that somehow the Prime Minister managed to win. And we had shown, the Samajwadi Party in Uttar Pradesh had shown how to fight the elections. Fair and enough. We stand with the PDA.
Rohan
and
Gupta,
that is our formula in Bihar as well.
So the UP formula will be used in Bihar is what you're saying. Rohan wants to respond. Also respond to what he said. And also, India bloc members argue that provisions in this Waqf Act, for example, non-Muslim representation on the board, that is something that they see as a massive infringement on their rights and violation of their, ability to follow their own religion. Asaduddin Owaisi in Parliament spoke of Article 26 of the Constitution being violated, sir.
I'll answer both the questions. See the irony, Gaurav. They are in opposition for last 15 years and still they have to talk about appeasement. It means that they are short of issues. You tell me any government who are in opposition for so many years, they do not have any
even know
issue.
that.
One by one,
Please
sir.
don't speak in between. I never spoke in between.
I
So
just
this is their
corrected you, Rohan
compulsion
ji.
that the first big rally they have to do is on appeasement, on Sharia, on throwing our law which has been passed by Parliament. It is their compulsion, Gaurav. And as rightly one of the panelists told that only Muslims are not their voter, but they know that they are losing these elections badly. So at least one community can save their skin. That is the whole effort. Otherwise, we have seen, you have only shown that clip where Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav clearly told that how Waqf law has been misused and the prominent law land has been taken over, encroached by the big people. And still the same party, they are taking complete U-turn. Same Gandhi Maidan, at the time of emergency, maybe Lalu Prasad ji and that party members should have been there against Congress party. Same Gandhi Maidan, they are with Congress party. Same Gandhi Maidan, they were talking about appeasement politics. So this is their political compulsion. And this shows the ground reality of Bihar, that these parties are losing these elections badly, and that's why appeasement has become their compulsion. Coming to a second point about the putting of non-Muslim on the work board, again repeatedly see there are a lot many debates on that. This is the governing body. This is not the religious body. It doesn't talk about religious part of it. It is the management of the assets. If something is wrong which is happening in management of asset belonging to anybody, don't you feel that there needs to be transparency? Where the pure Islamic countries, where Sharia is there, even in those countries, bills like Waqf bill is not there, and you want to continue that in India, and this government has not abolished it. They're just trying to ensure that the poor Muslims who have been penalized by this Waqf Act, their land has been encroached, even they have faced the threat of this law, they can be protected.
Let me get Sanjay Jha to respond to this, because the BJP, Sanjay Jha, accuses not just the RJD, but also the Samajwadi party and the Congress of absolute fear-mongering amongst Muslims. BJP says the Patna rally framed the Waqf Act as a threat to Muslim rights. The act includes various provisions. You heard Rohan Gupta there saying it's only administration. The religious body will be run by Muslims. Administration can be run by anybody. A provision like reducing mandatory contribution, that's being reduced from 7% to 5%. Ensuring that a woman, a Muslim woman, has inheritance rights before Waqf dedication. All that benefits the Muslims. How is this being justified as anti-Muslim? Or are there any alternate measures that you have in mind, sir?
Gaurav, let me tell you, if all that Rohan Gupta has said was true, and if their intent was noble, the Muslims would not be on the streets protesting against the Waqf bill. Let me also tell you the second part. This is the same party that made a lot of noise and hullabaloo on, passing the triple talaq bill. The Muslims overall as a community did not vote for the BJP. Why? Because this is also a time, Gaurav, you are aware of it, when Muslims are being lynched to death in mob violence, and this government watches quietly. You think the Muslims don't know what has happened with the bulldozers? What has happened using love jihad and ghar wapsi? The way they have been terrified? I mean, this is India is witnessing sectarian politics on steroids. Now, here is the truth, Gaurav. I'll tell you. The truth is that we keep talking of minority appeasement because the BJP says it. I'm going to tell everybody on the panel, why don't we spend some time understanding what is majority appeasement? The BJP's desperation comes because they assume that the Hindus of India can be very easily swept in a propaganda wave. Where I'm a Hindu, I'm a very proud practicing Brahmin and a Hindu, and I believe the Hindu of this country is a liberal, he's traditional, but he's very, what I call is inclusive, which is why the BJP is terrified. They don't care for the Muslim votes at all. They're scared that if the Hindus of this country recognize that they are being misled on a religious path by the BJP, and if they go against the BJP as a political entity will cease to exist. Because the only reason why the BJP exists as a political party is on Hindutva and somebody else to blame. It's as simple as that.
Let me get Ajit Jha to respond, because that's a point, Ajit Jha, that Congress Rajya Sabha MP Imran Pratapgarhi, for example, he made exactly this point, saying there are 24 Muslim MPs in Lok Sabha, and yet more than 200, I think 232 in all, had opposed the Waqf Act. So he says they included the Hindus, the Sikhs, the Christians, even if 288 voted in favor. And his point being, even Hindu MPs are opposing the Waqf Act. How would you view this?
Look, Gaurav, I have a lot of respect for Sanjay Jha ji, but he doesn't realize we are talking about Bihar politics. Where is there bulldozer politics in Bihar? It might be in UP, but not in Bihar. In the last 20 years, under Nitish Kumar, how many communal riots has taken place in Bihar? We are just being silly when we are debating a macro issue on a micro assembly elections that is taking place. Let's talk Bihar. Where is Nitish Kumar's credibility as a socialist and as a secularist is as high as that of Lalu Yadav. They all came out of the JP movement. So let's stick our debate there. There is absolutely no issue of majority versus minority politics in Bihar, despite the fact that the BJP is an ally of the JDU. It was Nitish Kumar's initiative by which he brought about this entire focus on Pasmanda Muslims. When Sanjay Kumar admitted that something like, let's say, 10 to 15% of the Muslim vote has moved to JDU, well, that's a great admission. 10 to 15% Muslim vote has not moved to the BJP in UP. So let's make this sophisticated sort of distinction that we are talking about Bihar assembly election. And as I pointed out, Tejashwi Yadav in his previous rallies has talked about inclusive politics he said he'll be protecting upper caste, he'll be protecting backward caste, Muslims and others. And suddenly he takes a 180-degree reverse turn and plays a very, very aggressive line. And not only an aggressive line, a rather silly line, because he's saying if we come to power, we'll throw away a centrally passed law by parliament under consideration by the courts into the dustbin. So obviously,
so let me also bring in Sanjay Kumar.
Gaurav, can I make a
for
short
those
point?
40,
Can I make a
sir,
quick
just
short
those,
point?
those 40, okay, quick short point, sir, because I have exactly 1 minute on this part of the show.
Yeah. I agree with Ajit ji. I respect him a lot as well. But Ajit ji, following your own logic, let's also understand, and you're right, Bihar has an 18% Muslim population, but Bihar is never fallen into a communal trap. So the BJP's attempt to polarize is not likely to work at all. And by the way, even in the 2020 assembly election, the BJP had tried doing the same thing. They called the Mahagathbandhan alliance as pro-Muslim. It didn't work.
Okay. Let me quickly bring in Sanjay Kumar also. Muslims form about 25% of the electorate in 40 assembly constituencies. So I was going by your
Small
data.
point, Gaurav.
Okay, Ron, quickly, 30 seconds, because I have to go to Dr.
I
Sanjay
just want to quickly
Kumar for
rebuttal
the last
Sanjay.
one.
The
Yeah.
fallacy what Sanjay has been living in Delhi, Muslims, at least 12% Muslims voted for BJP. A seat called Mustafabad where 40% Muslims were there. BJP won. So please change your mindset
So
now.
you
This is not
concede that
about Muslims.
90% did not vote
Even
for you,
after, please let
Rohan.
me complete. Even
And
after the
Rohan,
Waqf bill
88 to
was passed,
90% did
there
not
were
vote for
huge
you. You have
calls.
made a
There
public
were
confession on
huge
the
calls
show.
by opposition party to go against that, and they never got the support. Muslims now understand, the poor Muslim understand that this bill favors them, and the majority, the strong Muslims who have misused Waqf bill till now,
Not
they
at
are
all.
under G3. They are under the issue,
Okay.
and their monopoly has been questioned. So that is the
Sanjay
ground
Kumar
reality,
ji,
Sanjay, which you
okay,
have to
the
understand.
last, I have 30 seconds, but I want to quickly bring in Sanjay Kumar because I want to do the numbers first. 25% electorate, 40 Bihar Assembly constituencies. How would you assess the potential of the Waqf Act controversy to shifting this Muslim voting pattern? Is RJD trying to ensure that they don't go into MIM, support camp like in 2020, especially in the Simanchal region?
Gaurav, there's no point of Muslim vote shifting away from RJD because RJD has always got sizable number of Muslim vote. Yes, in 2020 there were few constituencies where Muslim voted in favor of the AIMIM candidate. Even in this election, if AIMIM decides to contest separately, Prashant Kishore is also contesting election separately. There are chances of Muslim vote getting split somewhat. But I think still sizable number of Muslim vote will go in favor of RJD Congress alliance because they would like to vote for a party or an alliance which is placed to pose a challenge to the NDA.
Fair enough. Now, on this part of the show, we will continue to focus on this. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me, because in the run-up to elections, all of this is likely to become very, very interesting.